Not a huge fan of Dabo Swinney. After years of losing to him multiple times in ways that are very, very heartbreaking. It's very tough to lose to Clemson and the Tigers. In 2019, when we had them in the Fiesta Bowl, we had them. We should have beat them. But also, who else shouldn't be a fan of Dabo Swinney? Offensive lineman, because in the last decade, he has not had an offensive lineman drafted in the first round. Northern Iowa has had an offensive lineman drafted in the first round before Dabo Swinney. So let me just get the Dabo, just like out of my heart, and let's give him some credit. One thing that you have to give him credit for, he was ahead of the curve. He talked about this before. He mentioned NIL, name, image, and likeness, and how it has been not good for college football. He says it's total chaos right now. He's not a fan of NIL. He said that there's tampering galore, kids are being manipulated, grass is greener, and all this stuff as opposed to putting the work in and graduating. So he feels like, with name, image, and likeness, student athletes, are not focused on graduating. That's the last thing on their mind. They're trying to make as much money as they can, as fast as they can, and then trying to get to the NFL as fast as they can. He said education is the last thing now. He said there's no reason to pause. There's no barrier for the young people, like nothing. So he's not a fan of it. And now you see different, conferences meeting about it and different, groups all over the country discussing, how NIL is bad. Dabo Swinney was ahead of the curve. I have to give him that. And he took a lot of, heat for what he was saying. People were saying like he didn't want them to get paid, but he stood by it, and his comments have aged really well in some eyes. NIL right now, it depends on where you are. It depends, but NIL is really hard to control. I don't know how you're going to control it. He was right that it is chaos right now, and I think it's going to continue to be chaos because I don't feel like you can put a salary cap on anything. There's always loopholes, and once you open that door of NIL, I don't think you can shut the door. I don't think it's ever going to go back to players not making money, and I don't think, new regulations coming in is going to stop. You've opened Pandora's box, and this is a wormhole that, unfortunately, we're stuck in. And, he was right about it. Players are getting paid. I don't know how you stop it, but I think for me, the transfer portal is a lot harder than the NIL. I do believe I think student athletes should make money off their name, but the transfer portal, look, it's so much of that going on. I mean, I don't know how many videos I've done on Ohio State. Transfer. Not just football, but just almost all the top sports at our university. So many of them are just in the transfer portal, and that's just at Ohio State. That's just one. And I've seen at least 45, 50 in the portal this year alone. So this is just one institution. I don't know how they're going to deal with the transfer portal. It is a very tough situation. I don't know who's running NCAA. I don't know how you regulate it. The transfer portal is worse than the NIL. Students, they should make money. I don't think you can limit it. I don't know what you're going to do. Now I think it's just going to continue to grow worse and worse and worse. You can't salary cap nothing, and soon players are going to get paid millions of dollars. You heard the rumor that I think a player from Pittsburgh got offered $1 million to transfer to a school in the SEC. That is wild. But, how do you control it? You can't.